All right, hello everyone, and welcome to number 27 of the Hearthmind Challenge series. I'm Tim Karasine Harris, and I'm joined again by Bolik Askier Watson and Alex DeBoss of Team Hearthmind. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, tonight we have in our finals two people. I believe they're both first times making it to our finalists.
That is correct.
Yeah, we have Lemurian and we have Joie Joie de Vivre. I'm doing my best to pronounce the name. I mean, French isn't my first language. We'll just put it that way. But anyway, I'm looking forward to an exciting series tonight. Joie de Vivre is playing a hunter, and Lemurian is running. What was he running? I gotta check it out here. Paladin. So it's actually two interesting classes that I wouldn't have really expected to see here. Because, I mean, Paladin, yeah, has the diversity, but, like, Hunter, to me, like, what you generally think of Hunter seems kind of one-dimensional. What do you guys think?
Oh, I agree. I'm really interested to see how he prepared his decks, if he has multiples, because, like you said, Hunter seems one-dimensional. It seems really easy to counter. And to get this far, he had to make sure that at least one of his decks can't be easily countered.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see the Hunter decks, because, like you said, there's got to be some type of variety worked in there. And, I mean, Paladin, they definitely have a range, and we've seen Paladin on the ladder plenty lately, as well as, you know, there was the old style of very greedy, fatigue-ish control Paladin even before GVG, so Paladin has a lot of options, but I'm definitely excited to see the Hunter here.
And this should be a very high-level match because even though we're not familiar with those two players, they're debuting in the finals of Hearthmind Challenges. Lemurian beat Chance, who was a winner previously, and also is a top-ranked player in the ladder. He was number one in A for a while. And Joie de Vivre beat GC Turth, who is a pretty much staple in our tournaments, as well as the ESL series. He is in the ESL Legends series, so very high-level player.
Yeah, definitely. So we should see some good things out of both these guys. Have they said, are they ready to go?
Yes, they should be entering their matches right now.
Okay, you can give them the go-ahead, tell them to get it going.
It's interesting that Lemurian is a legend currently, 391 on the legend ladder, and Joie de Vivre is a rank 15.
Yeah, I saw that as well, and I was thinking that possibly he may be an EU player that came over for the tournament, possibly.
Either EU or he just concentrated on Arena this season.
Yeah, that is a possibility too.
It's interesting to see a player of that level at a lower rank.
Yeah, I can say though that I was in a tournament over the weekend where I queued into a rank 23 player that was definitely not a rank 23 player. We can put it that way.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the Paladin here, I'm looking at his mulligan, and he looks like he's got a good start with being on the coin, and he's got the Juggler and the Creeper.
And he got pretty lucky because he threw away Isotirian and one other high card. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, and that's big. He's got the Muster to follow it up with now, too.
That's really good. He's probably going to go for coining a creeper so that he can sack it in the next turn and get the knives off the knife juggler.
Yeah, that I think was the best play there, because then he can drop the Juggler and follow it up with the Muster for battle.
Ooh, interesting. Very good play for the situation. Looking ahead to see that knife juggler could be coming out,
And I
making a
mean,
trade that's not the greatest.
Juggler is kind of a staple to Paladin now that they've gotten Muster for battle, so, and with the turn 1 Creeper drop, I mean, it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility to be expecting that.
It seems like I don't see Mokla, so he must have mulliganed it. My spectating mode unfortunately lagged on that. So he is running a very aggressive deck because he is running King Mokla. So
Yeah.
so far he's playing very defensively. We'll see what his plan is going forward from here.
So Lemurian is thinking about Knife Juggler versus Hero Power.
I think Hero
What are your
Power is the right
thoughts?
way to go there, because the Knife Juggler is just going to die to the bow.
Oh, I completely agree. He wants to get value out of that Knife Juggler. I would not be surprised for him to wait till turn 5 and play the combo with Muster for Battle.
The way I see it, he goes Knife Juggler here because the next turn is Muster for Battle, and that's great value, and that allows you to turn 4 Cult Master. With what's on board, the Knife Juggler isn't going to die. He would need an Eaglehorn Bow, which is in the hand. He would need a roll for Charge or Liak or a Knife Juggler himself. So I would go for the Knife Juggler here, but it is quite the tough choice.
Well, Hearthmind is a good pickup because he can play that next turn. And it's interesting because the Hunter is playing a really control-heavy match right now.
Yeah, it does look like he's not just, it's definitely not just a straight to the face hunter. Because, I mean, he's controlling the board. He's playing it almost more like a zoo deck at this point. But
And this is what I was expecting, the combo of Muster for Battle with Juggler. And he's hoping to clear most of what the Hunter has on board.
I was a few turns behind. I exited and came back in. I wasn't giving the total updated game in my commentary.
yeah, and that's great for him having gotten rid of the Leok there. Because Leok's one of those that he's got higher health as far as hunter minions go, so he can be a pain to deal with sometimes. And if you can't really let him stick around because he ends up buffing everything else, and the damage will add up for you so quickly. This Kezan
Ooh, that's
Mystic
an
here,
explosive.
the Kezan Mystic is huge right here. Because he can take that secret and the charge off the bow away from him with that.
He might want to trigger the trap.
I don't really see
But-
how triggering the trap would be a good line here, because it's not only going to kill his recruits, it would also give another charge to the bow. Unless I'm missing something here, I don't know.
No, he didn't go for it. No, I didn't think it was the right play. I was just wondering if he was
Oh,
trying to
if-
trigger it because his board was so weak. I mean, it was just 3/1/1s and he's not holding the Quartermaster in hand. It was not the correct play, but I was thinking if he was going to do that, trying to test for it with the weaker minions.
It could have been possible because he would have been able to play Sylvanas if he did that also. And Sylvanas is good on a board where Hearthmind is there. Because he
That
will
is
steal
true.
something.
And now,
And that would have been really good this turn because it would have stopped Gozrilla from coming down.
Now he uses his own trap to buff Godzilla.
yeah, that is... Gozrilla is getting very dangerous very quick. Was that actually in the deck, or was that off of a web spinner
That was
draw?
off Web Spinner.
Because that's a card that it's interesting to me. Like, you look at it and it looks like it could be very good, but it's just a little bit too slow for most of the hunters that we see right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, as we see right here, one hit to it and it's already up to 12 damage, which is huge.
Do you think we're going to see Aldor on Gozrilla, or do you guys think it's Quartermaster this turn? Because Quartermaster looks really good.
It does, but you need 3 of your minions to kill Godzilla because you're not going to hit it with your weapon.
Right.
So I think we're going to see follow the rules.
Follows the rules.
Yeah, because he could do the Aldor and the Cult Master and run the 1/1s in to the high main.
Yeah.
And he's drawing 3 cards there.
Ooh, he's going for the Quartermaster.
He's going for it. Well, the danger of playing the Aldor on Godzilla is that it still gets twice his attack every turn. It doesn't
Wow.
kill the buff.
It was
Yeah.
a 96 attack Gozrilla when it just died right there.
Wow.
Yeah, that...
He ignored the high main though.
Yeah. Ooh, that
Here's
Here's
that value.
draw.
And he gets the taunt up here too, which definitely...
This is a very interesting hunter deck.
Yeah,
Yeah, after we were just talking earlier about how a control hunter just would not work, huh? It,
totally.
this looks like a more control-oriented hunter, and it
Yeah.
seems to be doing, like, it's at least holding its own, we could say. I mean, if you don't even want to give it more credit than that.
Right. Well, it did make it to this finals, so
Yeah, and we don't know what other hunter decks he has along with it as well. I
yeah.
mean, we've yet to see if this is the only one or if he has additional decks.
I would assume this isn't the only one.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. If he's made it this far, he probably has an alternate.
To be honest, I want to try this deck on ladder.
I don't. King Mukla, I don't know that. I can never seem to find it to fit, like into like being able to play it on curve.
It's only really good when the opponent's board is clear. 'Cause you
Yeah,
don't-
and it's so hard to find a turn 3 where the board is completely clear.
Yeah.
Oh, I doubt I would ever drop him on turn 3 for that very reason, because it would have to be a clear board.
He's roping. He has to hurry up.
So he went for Sylvanas there, which
Makes sense. It will
yeah,
most steal something. And the hunter can't really ignore it and go for the face, because that would guarantee that he could steal high main next turn. So, pretty good play.
you see he drew the Blood Knight there. I was actually surprised to see that in this hunter. I guess he was going to counter Paladin, maybe? I mean,
I was just going to say that. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he has decks prepared to counter every class. I know that Flying Whale did that.
Yeah.
yeah, and Blood Knight too. I mean, Annoyotron, it would have value off that. I'm trying to think what other Divine Shields really see a lot of play right now.
He may even be playing a few Divine Shields himself. I don't know which ones he would play, but again, not out of the realm of possibility.
In a control-oriented hunter, it's not out of the realm of possibility. The neutral ones aren't that great, but I mean, they do exist.
Yeah.
So what do you think he does here? Does he just go face, or does he trade the Sylvanas?
I don't see him trading to Sylvanas.
I think he plays everything, runs his high main into the 3-3, and goes face with the 5-4.
I agree, and that's what he does.
Yeah, okay. So he doesn't go face with the 5-4. He decides he's... Wow, that's actually interesting that he's not going face with the 5-4. Playing around Quartermaster or just being very controlling.
I think he's hoping that Sylvanas attacking in, it just eliminates Harrison, but takes something other than Mukla there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if it takes a 2-2 or a 1-2 from him, he's really not losing that much, though. He also doesn't see all the zombie chows sitting in, and Dr. Boom, that would make that Undertaker get really big really fast.
Well, that is true.
I'm still surprised he didn't go face, because, oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
He was getting close to lethal, and he's low health himself.
Yeah, it seems like it could have been a game to race. But now that's out of the question. He has to reclaim the board, and that's going to be tough if Dr. Boom comes out.
Well, now winning is out of the question.
Is it?
I mean, we'll
He's
see what
holding a Light Knight and a spare part. How is he supposed to win?
Top decking. You never know what's going to come off the top of the deck.
Yeah, he could top deck his own Dr. Boom here.
Web spinner.
Yeah,
Web Spinner's not going to do it.
That is not going to do it. And that looks like that is going to close game 1.
Yeah.
See a way to reclaim the board, not die the next turn.
Yeah, 'cause
And to be honest, even if he didn't get Mukla stolen, it still would be hard
It's still
with Dr. Boom coming down and him getting that top deck.
Yep, and that was the end of game 1 there.
So what do you guys think? Is he going to pull out another hunter, or is he going to try again? Because he was holding his own for quite a bit and doing it well.
Yeah, I think that Hunter did pretty well, and it seems like it was teched against Paladin.
If he gets Blood Knight earlier and it works out, it seems like it's in his favor. So I think he's just gonna go with the same thing.
And also, too, he used Harrison on a 1-1 weapon. I mean, I'm sure he would have much rather used that on True Silver or on the Light's Justice when it was 1-3 or 1-2 even, to
Yeah.
get some more cards out of it. It was kind of a play of desperation, it seemed a little bit there. But, I mean, I think the deck definitely has a shot at beating Paladin. So I'd be curious to see what he actually comes out with this next game.
Well, they're about to queue up, so we'll find out.
All right. Are they going in now?
Yes, they're starting the game.
Okay.
What do you guys think about the Paladin? The Paladin obviously won, so it's very possible that it keeps the deck. But unlike other Challenge Series tournaments, this week they have the options. Winner have the option of changing decks. You think they're going to do it? Or do you think Lemurian's going to do it?
I don't really see him changing the Paladin up, because it worked out very well, and I don't really see any reason for him to change something that's not broken.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Philosophy.
And the 2 Chows in the starting hand, that gives him a lot of early game defense against Hunter trying to rush him.
And he decided to keep the Belcher, which I think was a pretty good choice.
That's interesting, yeah. He figured he would draw enough minions that the Belcher would be an important minion to have on turn 5.
And his curve looks just amazing right now.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, ooh, deadly shot. Did we see that in the last game?
No, he did
don't
not
think
pull it.
this does. It looks like a different deck, because you see he's got the Pyromancer in there too. This looks like a definitely more control-oriented Hunter.
Even more control hunter.
Yeah, with the Acolyte of Pain and everything, this might be like an actual heavy control Hunter.
Wow.
And Lotheb in there. I mean, Lotheb can go in pretty much anything, but
Ooh, explosive trap. That was a really good draw. Really good against this board.
And with 2 zombies on there, he has room to play. He can afford to lose quite a bit of health.
Yeah. Shouldn't be worried. He can be greedy, get draws off the Acolyte. Nothing of 3 attack or more is out there.
now if you're,
There's a silence, but
I was just gonna
to be
say,
honest,
if you're
I wouldn't
playing
use
from Lemurian's point, would you silence the Acolyte here?
I think so.
Do you think it's worth it, really?
Yeah.
Because how many silence targets you figure is
Well,
there really in Hunter
Highmane.
outside of Highmane? That's what I was just gonna say. Outside of
Possibly we could see a Sylvanas, considering how control-oriented this hunter is.
yeah, but at this point he
Acolyte.
doesn't really know because he doesn't see the hand, and I mean
But he does see an Acolyte, which is a slow card that gains card advantage, which just screams control deck.
This is definitely a heavy control deck with the Arcane Shot and Freezing Trap. Well, Freezing Trap you can see in other ones, but
and there is the Highmane we were just talking about.
Can actually clear board with Wild Pyro, Hunter's Mark, Arcane Shot. If he
I
wants,
highly doubt he will. The Hunter's Mark is way too valuable.
yeah.
But I
Could
mean,
lay down an explosive trap, just bow. There's multiple options.
Bow into Zombie and the Arcane Shot into 2/2, I think, is what I would do personally. We'll see what he decides to do.
or he could play the bow and coin out the explosive trap.
Well, that's true.
That I think would probably be the best line there, because he could.
It is actually, yes.
And he doesn't
I'm
even
seeing his
necessarily have to. Oh, I guess he's gonna go for the full clear here. Oh
That's
no!
also a play.
Yeah, because now the zombies will die. That is a. He's definitely conserving cards too. It looks like.
He just wants the board to be basically guaranteed clear, so he can probably coin Highmane next turn.
And I'll take this time to complain about what Blizzard did with spectator mode. I'm usually a Blizzard fanboy, so don't call me a hater. But the fact that I'm seeing Jargovir's hand upside down and tiny really makes it difficult to see when he has more cards, and that's how I missed that he still had the coin.
And I mean, you figure it's their first attempt at it. That's how I look at it anyway, and I'm sure it's something that they'll improve upon as time goes by. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Because essentially they just took the existing client and flipped the cards over is all they really did. Because,
Yes, it was the easiest implementation, and it's not bad.
Ooh, good draw.
But oh, that's a great draw. That's value. It's not bad by any means, but it is difficult to see when the player that's upside down has multiple cards.
Oh, absolutely.
Is one of the best answers to a high main because it's going to be hard for, like, he can ignore high main now, and it's going to take a while for him to cash it in for those two hyenas.
Yeah, it essentially slows it down. Because, I mean, they're still there, but he's got to run it into how many of these little creatures and how many turns is he wasting doing that.
Yep.
Are we going to see the combo? Because Lemurian might be worried about actually killing the high main right now. He wants the high main to stay at high health.
He's actually one turn off of the Quartermaster and Muster for Battle. So, here, I don't know, what do you think, Alex?
I think you set up
True
for the
Silver and
big
Token, probably.
and you go for Knife Juggler Hero Power so you can Quartermaster and Muster for Battle next turn. But that's just because I like flashy plays. This is probably the best because it does most on the board and it's not taking any risks.
Another high main.
Quickly does bow. Very little thought there. Knew what his play was going to be.
Well, it was by far the best play.
Yep.
That was a fairly easy turn.
To not draw two cards here, he'd have to use a True Silver charge.
So he doesn't really have an answer for Tyrion right now. I mean, he has the Deadly Shot, but it's still leaving behind that weapon, which giving them 15 damage is so painful.
Not desirable.
Yeah.
Tyrion coming down this turn?
It looks like he was thinking about it. I seen him picking it up.
And it would be only a 50% chance because a Deadly Shot might hit that token.
That is true.
I think you may just
YOLO Rag?
the 1/1 and Freezing Trap, but it looks like he's going for Deadly Shot, yeah. So now that he gave his opponent 15 damage, I think he's kind of looking to race now.
Yeah, and racing is what Hunter does best. I mean...
Yeah, that's true.
And look what he's got in his hand still sitting behind that. He's got another high main. He's got Ragnaros. He's got Lotheb to stall for a turn.
Yeah.
He might be able to win the race.
Oh, man. Soon we can see Knife Juggler with double muster.
Now, right here, if he Lothebs, that's gonna really hurt Lemurian because it's gonna stall. Nope.
Another turn of Ragnaros makes sense also.
Oh, yeah.
Well, considering the fact that he doesn't see those two musters, that was the correct play.
Yeah, and
he's racing, and that was the most damage he could do.
And he's got him down to 9 health at this point, which, you know, between the hero power and if, you know, Rag hits face, because we know how Rag loves to hit face.
Right.
That's game right there.
I think he probably goes for Knife Juggler, double muster, hits face with weapon. He may go for... Oh, Quartermaster's probably far better play. Never mind.
It makes those guys harder to clear.
Yeah, harder to clear.
And gives it basically rag targets.
Yeah.
So what are his options here?
Probably Lotheb and pray that you don't die.
Yeah, because he could Lotheb, hero power, I don't know
Yes,
what
he-
other traps he's running.
and on board. So he's one off lethal if Rag doesn't hit face. He probably sets it up to survive and have the best chance of Rag hitting the face.
Yeah,
He may want to cash in the Scientist for a trap, depending on how well he knows his deck or what trap he's looking for. He wants to trade the 1-2 to get the hyenas so he can use them for lethal. It's actually an interesting turn.
yeah, let's.
Probably a bow and a freezing trap. Use bow to clear. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised to see bow go face.
Yeah, because that
Well,
would
he
put
needs to
him.
do at least 1 damage to face.
Eh,
Because that
one of them,
that
I'm
means
sure.
Yeah, he has to go face with it. Yep.
that means that Rag can be lethal.
And the rag is not lethal.
Nope. And equality draw. But
7 mana equality though.
yeah. It's an option.
I still
8 mana
think.
muster. This hurts.
I still think Joie de Vire might actually have this.
I think he does with a freezing trap there.
Yeah, because he has 2 traps down.
The explosive doesn't do anything right now, though.
Well, it
Two-
makes Lemurian play around it because Lemurian doesn't know what it is.
But really, the 2 standard are explosive and freezing. So he kind of knows one of those is explosive, I think.
Snakes.
Yes,
Snakes, but
snakes is
I
always
don't
an
think-
option.
Going for clearing minions at all here.
Yeah, any way you cut this, it's a difficult call.
I actually don't see anything.
So he went to pop the trap. He's going for the card draw, it looks like. Off
Ooh,
of,
that's interesting. Yeah, that could potentially work.
and there's the other trap.
So he can only draw 1. See what he gets.
And that
Nope, not
does
gonna do
not
it.
help.
Do it. 1-1, tied up.
So that was definitely an interesting take on a hunter, I have to say. I like the more control-oriented hunter right there. It performed quite well, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was the same deck or not that he played in game 1.
I would say almost definitely not. It looked and played much slower than the first deck he was playing. That's
Didn't
just...
do Blood Knight, but that could have just been draw.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, I want to say there was a lot of cards that were, like, we didn't see Deadly Shot in the first game. It felt very different.
It felt, but they were both control-oriented hunter, which is not the standard archetype for that class.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, I think it's something that may be viable. Somebody just has to find the right list in it.
So what do you guys think is going to happen now? Is the Paladin going to change to something faster, seeing how the control the hunter is? That would be crazy.
Yeah, I don't see him trying to race a hunter.
No,
Because
we're not.
as like a Shakadin type, it wouldn't work because Hunter dumps their hand quicker than a Paladin is probably going to be able to most of the time.
Well, they're queuing up right now. We're about to find out.
Yep. We're going to jump right into it.
Looks like the same deck. Very nice hand for Lemurian.
Very nice curve.
And
Wouldn't be surprised to see him.
for the hunter.
Oh, he's already hovering over the zombie chow, but I said I wouldn't be surprised to see him coin out a shield and minibot.
Yeah. I think he wants turn 4 Belcher. He may go for Chow and a minibot this turn, though.
Yeah, I think that's the right play to start building up the board since the Hunter is obviously behind at this point.
Oh, and that would have been the wrong play. seeing that draw.
Looking at what we've seen of Joie de Vire's deck here, it looks like he may have switched back to his original Hunter.
Maybe.
Because, like, I see the Blood Knight, the Kill Commands,
Last
Dr.
game.
Boom. A lot of those cards we didn't see last game.
Really? We didn't see.
Oh, this is going to be so much value.
Oh, yes. Do you save it? No. Okay.
I doubt it. I doubt it. You can't expect another
Yeah.
a Divine Shield to be sitting in the same deck.
The fact that Shredder fits the curve better, but then he may trade Divine Shield into it, so it's not reliable.
Yeah, because then you lose the value off the Blood Knight there.
Looks like he may go for an equality. It would probably be crazy, but I don't like letting a 6/6 hit my Belcher.
That would bring the Blood Knight down to 3. He could clear it between the Slime and the Mini-Bot.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, that doesn't feel good at all. You're
Doesn't feel good at
trading
all.
2 minions, and one of them's a 5 mana into a 3 mana Blood Knight.
Yeah. So I may have even gone for the equality muster for battle there, which may end up being wrong in the long run.
Does he play the other Belcher now? Well, looks like he's thinking about it.
Because he's going to trade into the 6/3 with his 2 minions, and 3/5 versus 4/3 is
Yeah,
weak.
that feels a lot better in terms of the value you're getting out of the Belcher at that point.
Yeah. Probably high main, just to run it over with another big minion. Possibly a freezing trap.
I would not be opposed to a Freezing Trap. That's great value on a Belcher.
Yeah,
You're not
'cause-
only getting rid of the
That
taunt,
just kind of
a 7
resets it.
mana Belcher just feels so bad.
I feel like it's kind of hard to lose if you just follow the high main into Dr. Boom curve.
yeah, that is just
Value will just even itself out.
so
But
much for the opponent to deal with.
that perfect answer for high main.
That was an excellent top deck. That's the best answer a Paladin has to High Main.
And,
And
see,
it can allow the Belcher to trade well.
and that's also going to put Joie de Vire in an awkward position here, because he's probably not going to want to play the freezing traps now
Yeah.
for being able to run the Aldor into it and get the battle cry a second time out of it.
And he doesn't want to freeze back in Aldor either. So probably just Dr. Boom. Not sure though, because he may want to save it for when he can Undertaker the same turn, so something like Kill Command, Hero Power, and Pass could happen.
Could see the explosive trap here maybe
Yeah,
with the hero power.
and then run the high main.
The high main into the Aldor.
Well, how High Main into the Mini-Bot wouldn't be that bad either, because that
Yeah,
gets rid of
either
the
way
Divine
you're
Shield.
killing
Yeah.
one of the two of them. I would have probably went with the Aldor just because you're getting closer to popping that high main to the point where you can get the 2 hyenas out of it, because
I
a
would
1/3 at this point isn't really doing much.
I agree, and you're also getting rid of a 3-attack minion, not a
Yeah,
2-attack
as
minion.
opposed to a 2.
And
You might be running another, help me out here. The guy that steals Divine Shields.
oh, right.
Blood Knight, thank you.
Yeah, that shield stealing guy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If he would have attacked into the Aldor Peacekeeper, he would have probably the Paladin would have probably traded the 2/2 with Divine Shield into the 4/2, then hit the face with the Aldor, which would have cleared the board instead of having a 3/1 on the board.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Now he gets to cash that in for the hyenas finally. That is
An
quite.
equality combo right now would be amazing.
Yeah. He doesn't have it though. He could equality muster, but it's not the greatest. I think you attack that in and hope for Doomsayer.
Now, Doomsayer always shows up when you have the full board.
Exactly, yeah.
That's one of those, if you're watching someone on stream and they get wrecked by that, it's hilarious. Like, I have no other word for it.
Sylvanas on this board is actually good because there's no easy way to play around it because the bots could kill it.
Yeah, and the bots.
They're so random that there's no reliable way to play around it. You could try to clear everything else and freezing trap, but
That's what he went with.
the bots might affect this.
Well, the boss would have to hit high and both hit Sylvanas for that to work, so.
Possible. Ooh, equality combo. Ooh, that was a good. That's exactly what he needed.
That could kind of backfire on him, though.
Does matter here a
'Cause-
lot. What he hits with Sylvanas, if he does the combo first, it's pretty important.
Yeah, it's.
Well, and you got 2 minions with Death Rattle that he has to think about.
Yeah. Lots of the bots are probably going to hit Sylvanas to kill it. Which means he hopes to steal something good from the Death Rattle, but there's nothing good to steal.
2-1 is not that great.
No.
Oh, he steals a 1-1, which is even worse.
Yeah. Would that have been lethal? Maybe he just didn't want to play the game. He was losing position. But it's a 2-1 lead for the Hunter now.
Yeah, so the Hunter is definitely like the dark horse in this tournament today, I gotta say. I would not have picked Hunter to come out on top.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not, especially with not having crazy restrictions that we usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see any mages make it to the final. Mage was like my snap pick if I had to pick something that I thought was going to perform well.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't make the finals either.
Would have been next week, Alex.
Yeah, sure. Say that every...
Well, I was expecting a lot of Warlocks just because Warlocks have that very diverse archetypes, which are all good. You got the Zoo, which is great and always has been. You got Handlock, that's always been good. And you got Demon Lock, that now with GBG is very viable.
No, you said that wrong. Demon Lock, that's always been great.
But yeah,
It's always been fun.
I think too, like what I've found in a lot of our tournaments is that the people that really make it through to the finals, they tend to predict what like the common like first thing you think, this is what I would take. They kind of predict that and they play against it, you know, kind of countering the meta they're expecting, which really kind of shows the breakout top level players because they're able to anticipate what's going to be there and form a deck to play against it and give themselves the consistency to make it through.
Yeah. That's what I try to do every week. Sometimes it works.
Yeah, I mean, it worked 6 times for you, right? So
That's true. I think one of those times I just didn't really care. I kind of like half did it and got lucky or played well, whichever. I didn't prepare, but I won. That one was fun.
Well, we're about to see what they're going to play
okay, they're
And,
starting up now.
in the next game. Which, do you guys think that Lamarian is going to change his deck out?
Probably not. No, it doesn't look like it's changed.
Because the Hunter, I don't think I would change. I mean, the Hunter just won.
Yeah. You don't really change things when you win a game.
Yeah, and that Blood Knight is very strong against the Paladin, I think, because the mini bot is one of the best early game tools that Paladin really got.
Yeah.
Between that and Muster for Battle, and you take that Divine Shield away, and a 2/2 for 2 is really very underwhelming.
Yeah.
And a 6/6 for 3 is amazing.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see a coined bow instead of a coined animal companion, because you can clear a minion, then clear a minion the next turn and go for companion. looks like what we're gonna see.
Yep. That brings him back up to full health as well after that.
Muster for Battle is a good turn 3 play.
Yeah, having the second muster in hand here, though, is...
Kind of dead.
Yeah, and even if he does get the chance to play it, like there's the possibility of explosive trap. Oh, that...
Oh,
That is sadly not good because the charge is going to be used every turn. 2 turns, so by the time it can be played, it'll be on 1 durability. He'll have to play the second muster
I was going to
fast.
say, unless he drops the second muster.
which I would be surprised if he doesn't, because he really doesn't have anything else to play unless he draws into something.
Yeah, that's a few turns to draw into stuff, though. I'd imagine he'll draw into something.
Well, but is he going to drop an Elder Peacekeeper right now? That's terrible.
Nah,
So, dude, pass?
yep.
I think he may be considering the other muster at this point. Because
It is possible, yeah.
I don't really see, like you said, the Aldor is just...
Dude, pass. It's the best play.
That's the classic Paladin play, just like
It's
the old priest, their classic turn 2.
heal the opponent and pass.
Yeah.
But this time around, I mean, this is not the classic control paladin that we knew before GVG.
It's fast.
This is a very fast, a very much aggressive paladin. So,
Dude, pass.
dude, pass.
Happy to
It's
see
the
it.
best that he had, but it's terrible.
Yeah.
Happy to see it. It's not terrible. You gotta respect the dudes. The dudes have so much value.
Well, we don't see a quartermaster in his hand.
Doesn't matter. 2 mana, free 1/1. I'll take it.
I think we may see what. Let's see. What do you think the hunter's going to put down here?
Freezing trap.
That's a freezing trap here, but I guess he's doing it for damage.
I think he's trying to bluff an explosive.
Oh, that is a good point. But if he
That has to be it.
explosive,
He's not getting value out of a freezing trap on this board.
Oh, right.
Aside from the bow charge, I mean, he would gain the charge on his bow. But I think it was more to bluff the explosive here.
can test to see if it's explosive with that without messing up if it's freezing.
So he's going to send the dude back to the hand.
Yep. That value right there.
Oh, 3 mana, 1/1. Gotta love it.
Well, it did take a freezing trap, and then you just get to replay it.
Are we gonna see Harrison?
I don't
No.
think so. I think he's
He's
going to
good.
hold it.
From that. Hitting the face, interesting. When he's in a position that he kind of needs value, hitting face kind of feels bad, especially when you're playing against a paladin that has heal, like lay on hands. Feels like hitting the face is doing nothing. But then
He hasn't seen any heals though. We see it in the hand, but he hasn't seen any heals from the paladin yet.
that's interesting.
Yeah, that is true. He didn't
Hasn't
play
all
any lay on hands, no holy light, no heal bots, guardian of kings. None of that's been played at all. And he's actually sitting on a very scary late game there with the lay
Yeah.
on hands and Tyrion coming up.
Yeah.
And the hunter's curve is about to top out on this turn coming up right here.
I didn't expect that play. I was actually expecting him to go for the second muster and hero power. He went.
That was a misplay.
No, it's not a misplay. He saw Blood Knight in an earlier game, so he went for it first so that the Divine Shield would be hit off to play around the Blood Knight, which is sitting in the hand of the opponent.
That was a very good play there.
Then it wasn't a misplay at all.
And it
Okay,
just
I'll
shows how aware of, the deck he is, that he's taking that into account from the previous game.
Is there a Savannah High main that hasn't been Peacekeepered in the series?
I don't think so, actually. I think they have all had to follow the rules.
Yeah, I guess Lions have to follow the rules too.
Yeah, just like everybody else.
Yep.
Even though they're the king of the jungle, aren't they?
Sure. I think that the bow is going to be destroyed and hit the 3, especially because he has another bow in hand. I don't think we're going to see Mukla because there's too many minions on the opponent's board. The bananas would get value.
Yeah, we might just see the naked Blood Knight right here too.
Yeah, he sees
'Cause-
that the opponent is playing around it.
And I think both mini bots have came out, haven't they?
I don't believe so. I think we only seen one.
He does go for Mukla, though, not fearing the bananas.
He may be holding on to the Blood Knight for Tyrion as well. Because if he can clear Tyrion and then Harrison on the Ashbringer, he'll be in a pretty good spot. Which looks like that's probably going to be the play
That's
this
what's
turn.
going to happen.
So he'll have a 6/6 on board. He's going to draw some cards. This is going to be...
This is a huge turn.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
major tempo swing right here.
Oh my gosh. Such a beautiful play to Harrison right after you kill Tyrion.
And
It
look,
heals 15 and draws 3.
yeah, that changed the whole face of the game too.
So it's a really good draw there, though, because he may be able to push through for enough damage now.
And he does have the lay on hands, the bananas, the equality, so he's got ways to deal with this board. I would probably go with equality into muster.
I think I would equality into True Silver Racing. Actually, probably not. Those two plays don't really complement each other. If you're going for equality, it is probably to take back the board with muster.
Yeah, because you can use your weapon to kill one of the 2/2s, and you could eliminate his whole board.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd have 4 tokens on board for the next turn. And that'd still leave him 4 more mana where he could play a dude and 2 of the bananas.
You could probably fit in lay on hands the following turn.
Yeah, and then that would just refill his hand, essentially, where...
And his confidence bar.
Yeah.
He is going to go for True Silver to clear. And I assume not a muster. So, Hero Power and maybe a banana in there somewhere.
It looks like just a dude, I think.
Huh.
Well, the banana works way better if you play it and you can use it immediately.
Yeah, and it's also possible that he got roped. He was very close to the end there.
He's got a lot of options right here, Jordiver.
Potential damage, but if he goes for racing the opponent, he's going to fall short to the lay on hands. So he needs to take back the board.
That Silverback Patriarch is actually... That's a nice draw right there.
It's tough. It's really good with the buff. He has to be hit with the True Silver.
A 2/4 isn't as terrible as a 1/4.
Ooh, he gets
Still not great.
muster, then hero power, then quartermaster.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage coming the next turn.
Trade off.
If he musters and hero powers, he has to kill off one of the spiders. Not that it's a big issue, but
Nah, it's a trade he would have done anyway.
Yeah, because he can clear out the Patriarch and then kill the 3/1 with the spider. Because it would make
and get
sense
rid of
to...
Leok with the weapon.
Oh, he'd have to hit the Patriarch first with the True Silver.
Oh, I was thinking hitting him with the 3/3 dude.
Oh. Yeah, because he...
Oh.
I guess he values the dude's health more.
I think you get this much value off of just your hero power. You're totally fine throwing it away to keep yourself alive. So
That's what I would do, but I mean it's...
I think he'll definitely be clearing here because it's hard to lose if you have board. And he certainly has the board.
Yeah, and that's such a strong board because now it doesn't die to Explosive Trap, too.
Just that one dude does.
It actually comes down to the same thing now that I did all the math in my head. The play that I was talking about, the play that he did, comes down health-wise to the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way to stay alive? Freezing trap is probably going to help, except if he freezes back the quartermaster, he'll have to freeze the quartermaster with the coolant, so he can't get that.
Yeah, because I mean,
Then Belcher and Shredder. Yeah.
It has to be. Possibly weapon, but
I don't think so. I think we'll see Shredder.
and Shredder it is.
It makes sense to get the durability, but you kind of have to not be greedy and go all out right here.
so there the trap
Well, my
is
screen is
triggered.
showing. My screen is showing a 0-mana Belcher.
That's good. The bananas are gonna get really good value here. Didn't even look at that.
Yeah, so he's able to clear that out.
Then he can just replay Belcher and Hero Power, throw out a Chow if he wants to. Probably not.
Yeah.
Whoa, you gonna do that? Is he gonna go for the... He's playing the card out of the hand instead of using the Hero Power? That's... Why?
I guess because it fit into his curve where he wasn't leaving mana.
Use the Hero Power, then it's the exact same result, but you have a 3-mana 1/1 in hand. And then you can play it plus Hero Power next turn. Not that it matters, just that my value is crying. He needs a Noyotron. Would that even do it? It would do it by 1 HP.
And that
Like,
is not gonna do it.
That is the series. A Hunter winning it. Very unexpected. Wow.
No, that's
And a
not.
Control Hunter at that.
That's 2/2 still, is it not?
Is it?
Because the Paladin took that game.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm a little tired, so
Yeah, as am I. I had to stop and think about it for a minute.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, wait a minute here.
I'm just calling the series. Good night, everyone.
But yeah, it's.
It didn't win one. Yeah,
So we are going to see a game 5, correct?
good. These games are fun to watch.
Yeah, and
Very good. Those are very entertaining games and very interesting decks.
yeah, that is one of the things I have to say I love about the Challenge Series is that it's not the same decks every week, you know, with minor variations. We see so many just innovative things out of the top level players that we get out for these. It's really an amazing thing to watch sometimes because some of it, like, I wouldn't even have, you know, wrapped my head around the idea of it, and then you see it and it's kind of like that, oh yeah, I guess that does work type of moment, you know. It's really cool to watch.
Yeah,
I like the fact that every week we try to predict what decks are going to be popular. We try to make sure that there's more than one viable deck whenever we come up with the challenges, and then players come up with decks completely different than what we predict.
yeah.
Yeah, I
When you
think
have multiple brains working on the same problem, things come up.
it's amazing the things that come out of it, that is for sure.
Well, they're queuing up for the last game of the series.
All right, this is going to be it here, guys. I'm definitely excited to see who the new champion's going to be for this week.
They're turning on the Rocky music. Go.
Vladimir asked me what the score is because he forgot. So it's not just us.
I was saying, I don't feel so bad now, you know? We're not the only
I don't feel
ones.
bad about my little slip up anymore because the person who's actually playing doesn't know the score either.
It would be 2-2 by my count. But,
Yes,
yeah,
it is 2-2.
Yeah, well, by my count, it's 3-1, so...
3-1 from the guy that lost the last
Lost the
game,
last
right?
game, yeah.
All right, you said they're ready to queue up?
Yes. It looks like they're waiting on Radevir, who is trying to figure out what the score is.
He had to figure out if it was over yet or not, huh?
He heard me ringing that he had won the game.
Yeah, he was all ready to go out, get a drink, celebrate with friends, all that good stuff.
Using his PayPal money, yeah.
Yeah. PayPal's accepted everywhere now. I see the commercials all the time.
I haven't.
Yeah, a lot of stores actually accept it now. I personally haven't tried it, but it's supposedly you can.
I actually got a debit card that uses our Hearthmind account.
Hearthmind is now sponsored by PayPal.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, we'll take our PayPal check for that lovely plug we gave you guys there. It's accepted everywhere. It's a wonderful thing.
PayPal employees that like Hearthstone, and they'll just get us some sponsorship. That'd be nice if anyone's out there. Oh yes, things are lining up perfectly for that Blood Knight. That's crushing right there.
Yeah, the 6/6 on turn 3, I mean, is...
And the easy trade, the 1-drop into the 2-drop. Peacekeeper, though, that is good. That is definitely a good card there.
Yes.
Ooh, he's in Mystic. I don't think we saw that in the last few games.
No, we definitely didn't. So this may be a different Paladin day.
Or maybe he drew terribly in all the games. I don't see why he would hold back on putting keys in the deck.
Yeah,
I don't see any deck that you're playing against Hunter not playing that card.
If you have one Paladin that has keys in, one Paladin that doesn't, you're up against a Hunter that has a bunch of secrets. I think it's pretty obvious you play keys in.
No, I think we did see it actually in the first game.
Okay, so he's gotten unlucky in the last few games about not drawing it.
Yeah, because he stole the explosive trap that set off the Gazrilla.
I think we're going to see a bow come down and maybe even a coolant. The problem with a freezing trap is that I think the explosive trap will trigger first, so if he goes to the face, first explosive trap triggers and then the freezing.
That is correct. All it will do is give him an extra charge in the bow.
But the freezing on that is still really good, even if it's a 4-1.
Yes, and if he attacked a minion, which he might, then the freezing will trigger and the explosive will not.
Makes sense to keys in first. He wants to steal the freezing, and he does. So now the explosive trap is semi-useless. And there's a freezing trap on a board of nothing but a shredder. That worked out really nicely.
Yeah, it was like a complete reversal pretty much to what
he had him locked in a bit and then completely reversed it around. That's the job of keys and Mystic.
Yeah, so it looks like he probably wants to coolant the Mystic here, so... Oh no, it's an explosive trap on the Hunter side, that's right. I'm losing track of it as well, you know. Not used to seeing Hunter traps on the Paladin's board.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. They steal it, and all of a sudden turns into Avenge, then it's easy to think about.
In our defense, tonight's tournament is running way later than any other challenges that we had.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of tired, and we might make mistakes.
It's exactly 3 hours and 13 minutes and however many seconds past my bedtime.
Looks like the Highmane's probably going to follow the rules again here.
Well, he's going to trigger the trap first, see what he gets. Come on, Millhouse.
Armorsmith, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Because if he makes the Highmane follow the rules, it won't die. But then it still trades into the keys and Mystic. It's not the best. And if this knife hits the Savannah Highmane, it's actually really terrible. Because then he'd be able to trade and get the 2s out right away.
Bring out your dead.
Boom, probably going to hit the Knife Juggler.
Oh, it has to. That card can't be allowed to stay on board.
Yeah, the 1 extra health of hitting the other 3/3, I don't think is enough, but apparently he does.
That's very interesting. I mean, you
pretty
know
risky.
that there's muster per battle in the opponent's hand. Well, not in the hand, but in the deck.
There is still the Dr. Boom, which does summon 3. But Consecration actually looks really good here. If you can True Silver and then coin Consecration, you can clear the whole board
Let me think.
with trading into all these high mains.
You would have to hit the 6 attack high main with your face, which is not desirable when you're sitting on 18 health.
No, it's not.
Might still be the best option, but it doesn't sound too good.
The alternative may be to allow it to hit you in the face, which is the same thing, so...
Yeah, because like a lot of times, like the way I've heard it said is that, yeah, you're hitting it with your face and taking the damage right now, but if you don't, that damage is coming at your face anyway the next turn.
Yeah,
Oh, I agree. I think it was the best play, which he actually didn't go for. I just say I didn't like it.
he thinks the best way to win the game is just to throw a super valuable minion on the board and allow it to reclaim the board instead of having no board but clearing the opponent's board.
And also, if his opponent rushes him here, he does have the True Silver and Consecrate in his hand for the next turn.
That glint was really huge. That's
Yeah.
the best way to kill the high main, which is a lot of damage.
Another Consecration.
These boom bots are gonna have to come up big. I think they have to hit the Shredder for 3. That's a good one. He can run the other boom bot into it and hope that it hits the Shredder for 3 again. Nope,
Yeah, that was
It's a
very
2/2 for 1
undesirable.
because he's gonna
Yeah, that's the
Consecration
worst.
his turn anyway, most likely.
Well, he'll have to kill the Shredder and then run the 1/4 into 1/1
Yep.
and Consecrate.
Let's just hope for Lemurian's sake that this is not an Amani Berserker.
That is so bad.
Yeah, that forces him to leave 2/2/2s on the board.
Yeah, which with
That
him
was
at 13 effective health is not a good position to be.
No. And these creepers are really sticky. These are going to be pretty tough to clear, which can give a lot of damage.
Was there a worse scenario? A worst 2-drop that could fall out of that?
Oh, I'm not exactly sure. Millhouse
Sounds terrible.
Sandstorm would have been 1 less damage, but I don't think he would have been able to clear it, which would have made it more. I think. No, it would have been the exact same amount of damage as having these 2 hyenas on board. It would just be in the form of 4/2.
Oh wow, he's actually trading Boom into the Creeper.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with it because the Hunter's sitting on 1 card.
That is a good point there. That
he doesn't have to race. He feels like he's on enough health to win the game with board control. And this is probably a coin Sylvanas to stop any shenanigans with high cost minions. I think this is game.
Was 13 damage next turn.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough to race.
Well, he doesn't have lethal, and he's been put on lethal himself.
yeah, he has to clear at
He has
least
to
the
clear
Black Knight.
That is true. He does have to clear.
And then who knows what trap he's going to be against if he clears the...
I don't think he does clear
The
the
scientist.
scientist. I think the secret is scarier than the 2/2, and you just try to win the next turn.
Yeah, because if essentially he would have to run the Scientist in, and his opponent would have lethal the following turn anyway. Then, So
Right.
he's
it's
really got to.
To the face, or 7 less damage to the face. He does go for it. just really playing safe. This is the correct way to go if he would have a heal in his hand, but he doesn't. Hoping to draw it, thinking it's the better play. We'll see.
He's sitting on 16 cards, and so far we've only seen lay on hands, so the chances of him pulling it out are not too good.
No. But
Oh, that is a terrible top deck.
is this a winning next turn? He'll want to return the Quartermaster. It'll cost 7. He can replay it, which will buff the Recruit for 2,
And that's lethal.
and that is lethal.
Well, even without that, it's lethal. He has lethal just with the Knife Juggler, Sylvanas, and boom.
That is true. So he has way too much lethal. I figured I didn't want to count because, it's late.
Yeah, it looks like Joie de Vivre is just kind of thinking of any possible out he may have, and this looks like it's going to be the end of the series right here.
Just looking to see if his opponent is getting excited and accidentally hits the end turn button.
And
Accidental.
he drew 4 more damage, just in case.
Yeah, in case. And 2 heal, also.
Let me think.
I wonder what he's thinking about. He's trying to find the best way to BM, or...
He's probably thinking about an explosive trap here.
Best way to play around explosive trap is just to run straight into it because you have lethal even if it's explosive trap. I think.
10,
Yeah, he had lethal anyways.
13. Yeah, the Quartermaster would have made it lethal, so...
Either Quartermaster or the weapon, so I mean, he had
Ah,
plenty of
true,
options.
he did have the
The
Trousseau as
weapon
well.
was the reason why he would have lethal through an explosive trap.
Alright.
Now it's actually the series, and the person that I announced that won isn't actually the person who won. I think. I don't know. I'm half asleep.
I can say congratulations to Lemuri, and I remember that much, that he did pull it out with the Paladin deck, which is one of my favorites lately. Paladin definitely has been doing work on the ladder, and in tournaments we've seen it popping up all over the place.
In our challenges, especially.
Oh yeah, our challenges as well. I mean, it definitely got moved to a top tier deck during like the release of GVG with all these new cards coming in, and it's amazing how just like those few missing pieces that they had really swung the class from being basically unplayable to right up there in the mix with everything else.
Hmm.
And it's interesting that now both a very aggressive Paladin with the Muster for Battle and Quartermaster is viable, and the Control Paladin is still very viable. It's not as popular on ladder because the games take 45 minutes to play.
Right.
But if you build it, the missing pieces for Paladin, for Control Paladin, was the early game. And now with the mini-bots,
Seal of Light, so.
Seal of Light, you have that. So that is also a very enjoyable deck and viable deck. It just takes forever to play the game, so people don't use it on ladder.
Back in my day, in these challenges, it was Shaman winning almost every challenge. Little history for you.
Well, we had a Shaman in the semifinals.
Yes, you did.
Turth was playing a Shaman.
Yeah, so it did have its place if it made it all the way to the semis, and I think Shaman's gonna have a comeback. I think, like in the meta in general, once it finds its new home, it's still trying to find where it fits in.
I think it's time to add a new totem called the BM totem, that when it comes out, it says a bunch of like really annoying sounds, but it doesn't.
Hello. We already have that.
I was gonna say we already have
Or
something
achievement.
annoying enough.
Annoyotron and all those really annoying things that you don't want to hear, but it has no actual value at all. It's just a 0-2 totem.
Yeah, I have to say Leroy is probably still on the top of my list of cards that I cannot stand to hear, even all these months down the road from.
And when it dies, it will say, "At least I have chicken."
Yeah, at
It would
least
be the BM totem.
At least he got his chicken, right?
I would play Shaman if they made that totem. Even though it would be terrible. It would be hilarious.
So-
We'll see what decks we'll see next week, because from our internal testing and brainstorming, Shaman doesn't look like the obvious pick.
Yeah.
But
Secret testing in
who
our
knows?
Hearthmind labs.
Who knows? Maybe it will be viable. We're surprised every week, and I'm sure that somebody's going to bring something we didn't expect next week.
Yeah, some Murloc Druid, probably.
Did you want to go ahead and announce the format for the next week, Bollock?
Sure. So next week we're doing something more towards the traditional Hearthmind challenges with card restrictions. Next week, all weapons are going to be allowed, all classes are going to be allowed, all spells are going to be allowed, which has been the standard for quite a bit right now. When it comes to minions, each minion played will have to be either cost 4 mana or more, or I'm sorry, not either, but both 4 mana or more, but less than 10. 10 included. Basically what that means, it has to cost 4 or more and not be a giant.
A little
The reason-
clarification. It doesn't have to be played at that mana cost. It has to be in the deck at that mana cost. So, Unstable Portal, you get a minion that is below the mana cost of 4. You are allowed to play it because it was generated from a spell. And you can obviously see that it's from the portal because it shows it on the left side of the screen. That's allowed. But every card you play in your deck has to be, or every minion you play in your deck has to be between 4 and 10.
Yes, and also cards that get summoned to your deck somehow are summoned to your hand and are below 4 mana are also allowed. So if you get something off of Neptulon, let's say, that costs less than 4 mana, that will be okay, and so on and so forth.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up for us here tonight.
Wraps us up.
Yeah, you know we're all getting sleepy. We've been there, but yeah. So thanks everyone for coming out, and we hope to see you back next week for our Challenge Series 28.
See you guys next week.